Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Finally, senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends. And welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up for that. Well, good golly, Miss Molly. I have things written down up here on a list. First off, it's both written down and the way I feel. I am manic today. And one of the biggest things that you can do to take care of a situation like this, which can turn bad easily, is to be aware. Constantly reality check yourself. I constantly reality check myself to make sure everything is real and I am acting in an appropriate behavior. And I feel manic. But I have random manic days like this where my mood just goes like this, from normal to depressed to normal to depressed, and some days it goes normal boost and then falls down. It doesn't happen on a day-by-day basis, the gentle wave. This is a 2-week cycle. 2 weeks down here, 2 weeks back up here, 2 weeks down here. It takes about 3 days to fall, 3 days to rise. But those manic peaks, like I'm going through right now, I was in talking, this runs into the next thing, I was in talking with some of the case managers, largely just talking, but also about some real things. But I have social anxieties. I'm an introvert. It's hard to get me to talk and interact when there are people in groups. But when I feel comfortable, I have a very booming voice. I project. And I was filling the room with my voice, and probably the hallway and down to the next couple rooms as well. So I am aware that I am manic. I am aware of this because I feel manic, but also because of the constant reality checking. I realize that that means I've got to really rein myself in hard. So it's a fun day, times like this. And already I haven't even done anything, just leaning forward a bit. It feels like a dagger in my back between my shoulder blade and my spine. Already the radial nerve on this arm is ow, ow, ow. Which, fun note, even though your radial nerve comes down and is involved in all of your fingers, your ulnar nerve is also involved in these. And the thing is, these fingers don't hurt, and I can use these things to no end. These fingers that the radial nerve controls, oh, they hurt. And my arms, they hurt. And my neck, it hurts. And my shoulders, they hurt. They're not injured, but they hurt. Those nerves being squeezed by the bone that's growing around them. Now, what caused that? Hard to say. Bones and being organic is weird. But trauma is a large one. Now, what can cause trauma? I've been in a lot of car accidents where my head has been whipped back and forth this way and whipped back to side. One accident is enough to do this and start the process. I've had several, along with all of the back and neck injuries from when I worked as a nurse's aide. I've got more than enough reason for my bone to be growing in trauma mode, which unfortunately in trauma mode means it's pinching off my radial nerves. We're in a monitor situation right now because I can still use my hands and arms. Eventually I am going to need surgery. Now, I had tried to get the process started, but everything moves so slow that by the time we got into and talking and thinking about stuff, it was, let's monitor and see. So that's fun. But I just thought I'd talk about that because that's one of the things that happens. But I was talking to the case managers. Now, I had gone in there with originally with a real thing, because their unofficial type thing is if they don't see you in 3 days, they'll come knock on your door, see if you're all right. But as I was talking to them, I was like, well, what happens if I've had a stroke and I can't tell you I need help when you come knock on the door? And then 24 hours pass where I'm lying on the ground desperately needing medical attention, and then you just knock on the door and leave for another 24 hours. So we talked about what to do, how to make a system of checking on people, because they're already burdened. They don't need extra work. So I was thinking, I don't know, maybe an opt-in situation, hard to say. So thumbs up. But then we talked about a lot of stuff, and then I said goodbye and went out and talked to other people. Filled the whole building with my voice today. Yay. Now, what else do I have up here? Because I've got the Manic thing, talking to the case managers. Now, I mentioned, I think it was yesterday, how I've been partially climbing onto a steam train that I've been on before, that I barely was able to jump off of before I really hit a danger point. But I need to lose weight, so I'm trying to only halfway hang on and get ready to jump off at any moment. Now, I have had this can of chili and this can of beans now for like 3 days. I do need to eat them, but I have been eating things. Yesterday, I actually went into the community center because we have some of the people there that enjoy cooking, and there was a turkey dinner. And so we had turkey, and there was cornbread, and I had some of that and with the turkey. And there was pie. So I ate. I didn't eat a ton. It was a piece of cornbread. It was a scoop of mashed potatoes with gravy. It was a thick chunk too, of turkey. And then a slice of pie. So, there's the pie. So I actually ate, and I will be eating these within the next couple of days, most likely. Usually I eat one of these and one of these every single day, and then I try to fit in some other things like vegetation on top of that. I had the peas and carrots as well. A can of peas and a can of carrots. So I ate. I just need to eat even less than that. Healthy. Remember, I reality check my situations. That's one of the reasons I was able to jump off the steam train before I got so far it was dangerous. Which, I lost 165 pounds in a month and a half, so that's not good for you. But anyway, what else do I have up here? I have had to kind of curtail my walking. The night before, not yesterday, but before, I had gone walking on the 4-mile round trip. By the time I got back, my heel was killing me. And unfortunately, my size 10.5 wide shoes, because the things that raise up my heels so that the bone spurs don't kill me, also jams my feet forward in my shoes. And I have little calcium nodes in the sides of my toes that get rammed up now against the side of my boot. So last night I could only go to Walmart and back because it had that whole itchy, that owie thing on my toe, which it's not just a little tiny pain, because when I get back it's just about raw. And I actually had to not go walking for a couple of days because of the blister and skin pad that grew over it. That's gone because it's, just dead skin to protect your skin as it's growing. But yeah, I don't want to go through the pain of all that again. What else do I have on here? These are a thing that's all wrapped up into one. These are a thing that's all wrapped up into one. Something like that that's actually English. But I do plan, I have been doing in the past, solo RPG stuff. And not computer RPG stuff, but solo RPG stuff out here in the physical world, tabletop solo RPG stuff. Whether it's done with the materials that I have in the analog fashion, or as I had done as well, using online tools to play and show it being played. I do plan on doing that again now that we're out of I can't say we're out of winter because still got ice and piles of snow out there. It's not even snow now because it's gotten so warm. It's all just ice, but it's everywhere. It's melting, it's not frozen. It's all melting, but it's going to take a while before it's all gone. So it's not warm, but it is brighter longer. And that is a good thing. And since we're away from the holidays, that helps. I'm still having all the issues of what I talked about before. Having one of the foundations of my life. Because as I was just talking with my case manager, I have always prioritized housing over anything else. If I needed to buy less food so I could pay rent, then I'd eat less food. If I needed to not buy comic books, because I was a big comic book collector, then I stopped doing that. If I needed to buy less alcohol so I could pay rent, and that was the rough one because I was the active alcoholic, I did that because housing first, then from there. So having prioritized housing my whole life, one of the foundations of who I thought I was and am was kicked out from underneath me. And whereas it used to be a semi-solid foundation, it's kind of, it wobbles if you put any weight on it. I'm still trying to make it all stable again. So I'm getting there. But back to, I plan on doing more of those. Plus, somebody had mentioned a couple of weeks back now, I think, that they wish that I could provide drawings or some such of some of the things that I'm talking about when I talk about like the Inside Outside, Razor's Edge, the Crimson Kingdom, and the King in Crimson. And I'm still trying to break through the executive function so that I can take some of the online, pictures of hex paper type stuff and then have the little towns, not little towns, like there would be a 5 hex area for the Crimson Kingdom, but be able to draw simple things to show them what rough concepts of what they look like, to help with visualization. I too am more of a visual learner and not an audio learner, so my just talking about it with not having any audio feedback, audio visual, whatever the words are that you have to help go with what you're saying. Good God, I can English well. I should have a television program, should I not? Plus, this was just a weird one, and I just thought I'd mention. Since I have my computer underneath my table here, I started moving my one box fan so that it's always blowing on my computer. Not because I think the box fan is going to help, cool it down. No, it's not. Even, especially with this one, even on high, it barely pumps out heat. Air. I mean, it still does, but I have one box fan over against that wall, and I'm not it's not on at the moment. It's loud and it blows hard. And if that's pumping out stuff at 1, it starts at 0, goes to 1, and it's pumping out 1. The one that I got blowing on my computer, it pumps out about 30. So it's not much, but the only thing is to keep the air moving under the table so that there's no real accumulation of heat. That's all. Yay. And for whatever reason my recording was slowing down, I do not know. But when I've taken a look at the, call up the details, things seem to be recording more 50 frames per second plus. So it's still a little bit choppy, but so much better than like 23 frames per second. Movies run at 29 frames per second, and they have a definite look when they run at that speed. So having a computer game run at that speed, that's even worse than 30 frames. I can live with 30 frames per second playing games, going off on a tangent. Good thing I wrote stuff down. I can live with 30 frames per second. I understand why people prefer 60 frames per second, because even with some other games on my previous systems, I've been able to play some games at 60 frames per second. And yeah, it's nice. But it's not the end all and be all. So I'm one of those that can live with some things. I mean, I used to be more of a purist when I was younger. Now I've become more of the shades of gray. I think I've mentioned before on canon on things. Comic book canon is rough. They've had to keep rebooting the Marvel and DC universes so many times since I've had to stop reading comic books like 20 some odd years ago. But there's so much stuff that just cannot happen inside comic books. But the thing is, I have become, instead of one of those who's hard canon, it's now, if you ask me, but what is canon? What is canon in this story? What do I ignore? And the answer is, it's all canon. Especially the parts that contradict each other. But then I've become the type of person that embraces absurdism, and it just makes more sense that way. Everything is fun. And then I was watching a video on, there we go, I meant to say more documentary, so my apologies, a documentary on a YouTuber called What If All Fist? Heck of a name. But he's been doing stuff for 13 years, has like 70,000 subscribers or such, and has made a lot of alternate history videos and political videos now. He is an alt-right grifter. If not an outright grifter, appears on alt-right grifting media. And I'm talking about the people that raked in millions from like Russian propaganda units, if you remember that from back a couple months. He's showing up on places like that. So he's just an alt-right grifter. But at the same time, the documentary was about how he kind of descended into insanity, taking too much kratom and ayahuasca, and really got lost in the sauce. So I don't know. I took a look at what he does and once again came to the conclusion that, yeah, he may do interesting stuff that maybe I'd watch just to go, ugh, I need to unsubscribe. Oh, God. Yes, thank God I wrote this line down. But once again, it's just the documentary about the person is so much more entertaining than the actual person themselves, because they're able to cut out all of the boring or, sorry about that, or appalling stuff and just give you the concentrated crazy. So when you go in and check out their stuff, it's not the concentrated crazy. You're not getting the montage. You're just getting the boring stuff along with the occasional dip into crazy. Such is life, though. Such is life. Past that, thank you so very much for watching this far. It is appreciated. You are beautiful and awesome for having watched the video. And if you have watched this far, why not? If you could write stag in the comments to show both me and the YouTube algorithm that people do in fact watch the videos. Now that would be very cool. Is it required? Of course not. Could I enforce it if I said it was required? Especially, of course not. It's just a voluntary little quote unquote game that you can play. It has no prizes, nobody wins, but it's just something to do, and thank you if you do. It is very, very appreciated. I'm going to try and make some phone calls today. I still need to call my cardiologist. I love having executive function issues. Oh boy. But past that, I'm going to be taking care of myself as best I can. Hopefully, you are going to be taking care of yourself as best you can. It doesn't matter where you live in the world. Everything is in flux and is crazy. But you know what? It's been that way through all of human history. Everybody's felt that way. Does that make things feel better? No. But at least I know I'm not alone. And you know you're not alone. And I keep bumping into my mouse pad. So that's good. But I don't know what I was going to say after that. So I will say this. I'll do the call to action. Which is, if you could like, comment, share, subscribe, that would be very, very cool. I'm getting manic. That would be very, very cool. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Now, make sure to share only with people that you think would like watching a manic old man yammer on about his life and such like that. Very, very cool if you could. Greatly appreciated. And of course, if you are a Patreon patron, thumbs up and thank you. It is greatly appreciated. I am able to eat food towards the end of the month because of your help. I appreciate that so very, very much. Thumbs up and thank you. When you look in the mirror, you're looking at someone who is both beautiful and awesome. And of course, if you have left me a comment, thumbs up and thank you as well. You too are beautiful and awesome in your own ways. I read every comment that YouTube shows me. I thumbs up and, let's see if I can do this, heart every comment that YouTube allows me. And I answer as many comments as my nerve compression will let me, which today is not going to be much because holy smokes, I got to stop using this arm. That is a knife in my back. Where was I? I can't even remember what I was talking about. So I'll just go with, yeah. Anyway. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. Oh, and that is indeed a very, very, very good thing. I can only show this for a while with this arm, and then I have to turn everything off. Oh, this is not going to be a fun day for pain. Yay. You take care. Have a very good day.